Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. It may not be Thursday at 9, just like last night wasn't Thursday at 9. And we said there might be a chance that we would have to do one of these emergency podcasts. Now, we thought it might be next week and Ryan would have to fly solo. But the Sixers did not feel like waiting. Today, right around the 6 o'clock hour, it came out that somehow, some way, Mike Gansey convinced the Celtics to take a ludicrous offer for one Jaylen Brown to come join the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for what's left of Paul George at his age 36 season, all $57 million of them, 2 firsts. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, the value really is the fact that it's the Clippers first, and the Clippers are tearing the team apart. No wonder Boston went for that first. Nope, not that first. Somehow, some way, we retained that first-round pick. These are the 2028 first and a 2031 first, which who gives a shit? I mean, 2031, that kid's in 6th grade or whatever,
Yes.
8th grade.
Yeah, I upgraded the trade from an F to an F plus for Boston after I found out that it could be the Clippers pick. The only reason it wouldn't be is if Philly fell in the top 8. It was really confusing to read, and Shams didn't put it out like in writing that, hey, this could be the Clippers pick, so nobody knew. I was digging a little bit, but so it's an F plus for the Celtics because it could be the Clippers pick.
Be the Clippers pick. The fact that
but they didn't have to give 28 and 29. They didn't have to give both for Jaylen Brown. You get to reset the clock. Obviously there's a lot of drama surrounding him, but he did not ask out.
No.
That has been reported. So Boston just wanted him out of there. And, we hear all this talk about, good GMs because we have one of our own across the parking lot in Howie Roseman. I'm done with this Brad Stevens talk, man. I am done. That's a horrific trade. I don't know what he's doing. I didn't like the Mitchell Robinson deal earlier in the day either, but that's besides the point. Man,
never lose value like this.
No, this is an incredible value loss. So when I initially read the tweet, I had the tweet noties on for Shams because, of course, you have to this time of the year.
Yeah.
I still thought it was a troll tweet. I read it. I'm like,
I checked the profile to make sure it wasn't like Shammy Turania or like.
I thought I got duped. I'm like, somehow.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, they got me. And then I looked and it said like 3.9 million followers, and I was like, holy shit, this is the real guy. Jaylen Brown's a Sixer.
Were you watching ESPN when they reported it? It was man, I turned it on immediately.
And I didn't see it on ESPN. I've seen the clips later. What I've been thoroughly enjoying personally is scrolling TikTok and seeing the Boston radio hosts react. Because they are absolutely, rightfully so, losing their shit. I mean, look, there's so many different ways that Boston could have salvaged this trade. And it's starting to come out, and we'll never know what happened in that building. It has A.J. Brown vibes a little bit. But the fact that they went from only moving Jaylen Brown for the Giannis sweepstakes, which no-brainer, whatever, then continuing to shop him continuing to listen to offers was, okay, maybe do your due diligence. Maybe you get a Kings offer somewhere, whatever. But then today it came out they were shopping him. Like they called every team said, give us your best offer for Jaylen Brown. I cannot believe this was the one that won that sweepstakes. And, obviously their starting ask for the Sixers, of course, included VJ Edgecombe. To his credit, Mike Gansey said, no way, we'll wait it out. I don't think the market's good enough. He was 100% right. And then, you get Jaylen Brown for Paul George, pretty much even money. And if you're Boston, not only did you not upgrade the position, not only did you get a pretty mediocre draft haul, you saved absolutely $0.
You saved one contract year. That's what it boils down to. And man, oh man, I can't believe they went from Giannis to Paul George in the span of a week and a half, 2 weeks. Just because they wouldn't include Baylor Shireman or Hugo Gonzalez in the Giannis deal. I like I said, you got to put Brad Stevens at the bottom tier GM now. I don't care how many good moves he's made. I don't care that he won a title. This is a Luka trade. This is up there.
This is Nico Harrison fleece levels.
I don't think it's as bad as the Luka deal because Luka's a better player.
Yeah, but
at the time, Jaylen Brown was a top 20 guy in the NBA.
Yeah, the Celtics didn't have Jason Tatum for the majority of last year. And, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, they finished as, a 2 seed in the East without their guy? So that showed me right away. I mean, Jaylen Brown can lead a team on his own. He's good enough. Now, coming to Philly, of course, you won't have to. And that's, we'll get into that dynamic here in a second. But how quiet that they kept this is shocking to me. I mean, I follow 15 different Sixers beat writers, blogs, podcasts. I mean, nobody had this.
You know what's funny? I was watching Six Rings of Steel. He's a Steelers fan. I don't know if you know familiar with his channel, his YouTube. I was watching his free agency reaction today, and someone in the chat he pointed out said, "Hey, Paul George and picks for Jaylen Brown," and he's like, "Never."
Because
and then it was funny because they're like, that was probably Brad Stevens himself.
2K wouldn't approve this deal.
That was funny.
Like, you couldn't even make this trade on 2K. It wouldn't allow it to go through. I mean, it's one of those things where you enable CPU trades or whatever or all trades allow. I mean, that's what it would take to get this thing through.
It feels good to be on this side of it for once, especially in basketball.
Yes. And he's a big name, don't get me wrong, but with Morey, you always felt like you weren't going to get the big name. You were going to get his guys. It was going to be hard. Yeah, it was going to be guys that he had worked with previously. I mean, what we managed to do here is, you extend the window because, look, Embiid's window becomes his own window. It's separate now. Previously, Embiid and PG's window lined up, and then you looked at life after those two as, okay, we have these two guards, we'll build out around them in 3 to 4 years. That all changes now. Now you have a separate window with Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, and VJ Edgecombe, and you take what you can get from Embiid for as long as you have it.
Yeah, it lines up with it. So now it's going to be Brown's and Maxey's window next.
Yes.
Well, Edgecombe is progressing, and hopefully Phylon will be a decent off the bench, or who knows what he'll develop into. I'm stunned Boston didn't ask for him.
What are we doing? It's criminal asset management.
It's really bad. If this podcast would be a whole different perspective right now if Jaylen Brown wanted out, he wanted to go to Philly, or he had this spot in his list of 2 or 3 spots. No, he still wanted to be in Boston.
You could have just kept him. That's what I don't get. You could have just kept him. You didn't have to do this.
Brandon, when you have a All NBA second teamer who could have made first team, you gotta ship him off, right?
Yeah, I mean, now the pressure that gets put on Jason Tatum is immense, and he's good enough. It's not a commentary on Jason Tatum. But I mean, look, Derek White got a lot of love because he was facing the third best defender on opposite teams. That's your running mate now.
He was bad in the playoffs. Very overlooked.
That's probably your secondary scorer right now. I mean, yeah, look, this isn't I'm not even talking down on Paul George because, he was never available during the regular season, but he did bust the Celtics' ass in the playoffs. I mean, he was playoff P. He was unbelievable. And, I wasn't pissed about him being a Sixer this year. I think we turned a corner. But, man, I mean, we just got 7 years younger at a premier NBA position and lost absolutely nothing skill-wise. And we definitely gained. We upgrade the position, you get younger, and we spent the same amount of money and we didn't deplete our draft capital.
Yeah, it's ideal. I mean, it's hard to grade this outside of an A+ or an A for the Sixers. Like you said, you got younger. I'm a little concerned about the fit. but you have to do this 11 times out of 10, no matter what the fit is when you're acquiring a basketball player of Jaylen Brown's caliber.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
What concerns me is he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to go to, say, a Portland or somewhere else, where there was a spot open, maybe New Orleans, because, they had interest in Trey Murphy. So now he's going to a team where he could potentially be the third option on any given night behind Maxey, behind Embiid. So it's gonna be curious to see how he takes it. I know the clips were circulating from his Twitch streams about how he's calling Embiid a flopper and all that jazz. But
if you remember, Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond used to despise each other. And they shared a front court room for parts of the last 4 seasons. So all that stuff ends up in the wash. I mean, Embiid is so desperate to win a title. I think he would take all the help he can get. And, he's publicly called out the last Sixer administration for not taking enough big swings. And, I mean, he's got to be elated tonight looking at this roster he gets to go play with, this fall and winter. Now, I mean, when you talk about fit, you're right. I think it's something where there are nights where, he could be the third option. I mean, all these guys are going to have to take a little bit of a step back, I think. Probably no one more so than Joel, and I think he's the most equipped to do that. I mean, his body is what it is. He's come to terms with that. He's so desperate for a title that I think he said publicly he would rather have some of the load taken off of him. He's forced in this position to be so ball dominant. I don't think it changes a whole lot for Maxey because you want to have 2 scorers on the court at all times. I think there's enough basketball for he and Jaylen Brown to go around. Brown's a decent shooter too, but I mean Maxey's a sensational shooter. Those 2 will be fine. I think the guys, and Dean Wade I could give 2 shits about. I mean, he's a spot-up shooter. He's a defender. I'm not worried about getting him the ball. The one who I'm curious what it means for him now is VJ Edgecombe because it looked as though he was going to have a huge role early on in his career and be kind of Maxey's running mate, be that third scoring option. The Sixers are better for it. Now he can be a slasher. He can be an elite defender. There might be nights where he's a secondary ball handler behind Maxey, but I think he has to make probably the second biggest sacrifice after Joe.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't stun his development because that would stink. But I don't think it will. I think they're all going to be fine.
I do too. I mean, look at the minutes that those 2 guys played. Like, there's room to get them to get VJ time on the ball without Maxey on the floor and vice versa. Like, there's enough. We needed more guards, so it's not like we're what's the word I'm looking for? Like, flooded at the position. That's the word I wanted, but you know what I
No,
mean.
never were. But it's interesting. At the start of the day, we were all like, "Oh man, Kelly Oubre got 2 years, $17 million from the Pacers. Why couldn't our ownership match that?"
Now we know.
How that one flipped on its head. It's it feels like the first time. Like, it feels really good. I mean, I saw people tweeting out. I can't take credit for this, but you're shipping out one 29-year-old with the last name Brown up the Northeast. You're shipping one in.
Yep, I saw that.
That was a good tweet. I gave you props.
Yeah, and that's the difference maker. I mean, he definitely started to sour on a little bit in Boston. To his credit, he never did ask out, so I think that's a whole lot of nothing. But yeah, that's the Jaylen Brown deal. That is the reason we had the emergency pod. We had to get on here and discuss that. With one more minute here, dude, how insane was the Quentin Grimes deal? What did the Lakers see in the Quentin Grimes Philly experience to justify that kind of payday?
I don't know. I was sitting on my phone and I saw Lakers agreed to deal. Lakers agreed to deal. Lakers agreed to deal. All of them like 10 minutes of each other. Money. They spent all their salary cap. I don't know what they saw, but with the remaining time that we have here, I hope that we get LeBron for a meeting.
It's possible. He said he wanted to see teams take a swing, and the Sixers took a huge swing today.
I mean, that starting lineup would be sick for his probably retirement tour if he comes over, takes them in. Dean Wade off the bench. I mean, I'd love that.
I mean, that starting lineup in that dream scenario, I mean, Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron, Joel. I mean,
It's on the table.
It's not impossible. He said he'll play for whatever amount of money. It's just the best situation.
And remember, 10 years ago, when he chose, oh goodness, that was 10 years ago that he chose Los Angeles.
Yeah,
something like.
No,
wow.
He hasn't been in LA for 10 years.
No, it's been a couple. I'm misremembering time, but Philly was on that list. It was on the short list.
Yeah, he was touring Malvern Prep allegedly.
It happened. Allegedly. I still think he's a Warrior because I still think they'd love to have him and Steph.
He and Steph are boys. Obviously, you got the Olympic connection and all that.
But the Sixers, they jumped from a 0% chance today to higher than 0. I don't know how high I want to put it.
They're in play. I mean, he knows if he comes here. I think if LeBron shows up in Philadelphia, he's playing in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing this documentary. How poetic would it be that his last season he goes out with a chip? And this team is a LeBron James away from being almost a surefire finalist.
Mm-hmm. A Thunder Sixers final, I'd sign me up for that. Like any day of the week. If that one team was so close with Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler. I mean, bring Ben Simmons back on the mid. I don't know how we feel about that, but
throw his ass on the bench, dude. Imagine.
I mean, he's friends with LeBron, right? They've had some kind of connection over the past.
Yeah, he said he'd be interested in coming back. I think Joel's kind of said in the past that their relationship is fine at the end of the day. We'll spend some time tinfoil hatting that away.
Next week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. We're still off next week. I'm still on my honeymoon. This is for sure the last podcast for about a week and a half.
LeBron signing tomorrow.
Unless we get LeBron tomorrow, in which case we'll be back 90. But we're planning for a week hiatus. So until then, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. This is still a passing report. We'll see you in 2 weeks.